something beautiful is on its way to you. This is the experience of a lifetime, my dear friend. You want to give yourself this at all costs to your ego, your pride, and your fears. Love, it's everywhere. It's beautiful, it lives within, it doesn't need to be created. It is already there for you. We've hiked down 3 canyons and here we are. Let's shoot it, baby. I feel the funky chicken, the funky Messiah. Yes! Search for yourself on your own. Go within yourself. Find it within your breath, within your very spirit. Mrs. Nixon is done. Now I want to do a little magic trick. A spiritual path brings us to a place in our life where we discover the diamond and we learn how to pull it out of the mud. It's all very interesting. Ever since the first human being drew a breath on this planet, they have asked themselves the question, what is the point of it all? I mean, let's look at it. You're born of parents, you're a little person, a baby, cute and all of that stuff. You grow up, you start to go into adolescence and you're competing to find out who and what you are. You go into adulthood, you strive and fight to survive. As you go on into your maturity, your body falls apart, and next thing you know, you're sick and you're dying. Then you're dead. That's your life, and that's it. Most people are content with that. Religion, philosophy, has tried to answer the question of what is the point of it all. In fact, that's the reason why we have religion and philosophy. Religion tells you the way you live your life on the planet is going to be the way you're going to live your life in the hereafter. Philosophy says other things, maybe that there's reincarnation or whatever. What is the point of it all? After all is said and done, after you go here, go there, eat this, eat that, marry this, marry that, have these many children, work here, work there, spend your money here, spend your money there, what is the point of it all? At the end, what do you have? Reminds me of a wonderful story. When I was in seminary, I went to a Jewish funeral, and it was a wonderful one. This guy's name was Morty, who passed on, and he owned a lot of junkyards in Kansas City. And Morty died at the tender age of 42 years old of a heart attack at the junkyard. And the funny part about it was that the rabbi got up and he looked at the family and he said, Morty reminds me of the man who went to the Tsar. And the man asked the Tsar if he could have all the land he could walk in a day. So the Tsar said, absolutely, you can have all the land you can walk in a day. So the man went off and walked and walked and walked and walked for miles. Finally, at the end of the day, he was so tired he dropped dead. And all the man got was 6 feet. And the rabbi looked at the family and said, he reminds me of Morty. Morty, all he ever really got for all the things that he did was 6 feet. And that's the truth of our human side. Is that what we're here to do? Have a large bank account, have a great reputation, have people say good things about us, go to our funeral and have these wonderful eulogies about us? That's the end of it? That's what our life is all about? What is the point of it all? Well, I'm going to offer you some insights in this series to help you with that, because what I want to do is offer you the alternative to asking the question, what's the point of it all? The question itself is flawed. What we really need to look at is the mystery of our life and how to enter into this mystery with some maybe bravery, courage, and look at our life as an adventure in love. So if our life is not based on philosophy and religion, then what is it based on? People are always trying to find some mental, emotional, spiritual, what they call spiritual, or religious philosophy to base their life on, because they were told that they couldn't trust themselves and their own innate goodness on the inside of themselves, trust their intuition and have some insight. If you look at our life, you will see that our lives are based on 2 thoughts alone. And this is a pathetic way of looking at life, but it's the truth. You only have 2 thoughts that you live by, what's right or what's wrong, what's good or what's bad. And from there, that's all you live from. Aren't there things that are beyond right and wrong, good and bad? And what happens when right turns into wrong and wrong turns into right? You start to look at it a little bit and you begin to understand why our philosophies are the way they are, so convoluted, so misunderstood. We are misguided not because we're inferior beings, but because we've limited ourselves down to two thoughts, right and wrong, good and bad. Religion likes to call it heaven and hell. All of this is nothing more than an intimidation. The person who is an original, an authentic person, someone who is seeking to live beyond the veil of right and wrong, good and bad, and the mediocrity that that creates, starts to understand the nature of life in a different way. What is the nature of life? It is a mystery that can never, ever be solved. It is a mystery that has to be lived. Life is the art of living. How you live this life is a prayer. How you live this life and the way you approach this life from your heart and soul has a lot to do with the meaning of it. Let me give you the teaching, the essence of what I want you to maybe take with you, my suggestion to you about life. It's not about philosophy, it's not about religion. It's about one thing. Only live those things that you can take with you through death. Only live those things that you can take with you through death. If you can be at one with that, if you can feel and resonate to the truth of that, you're going to find some very deep changes occurring, and life won't be so mysterious. It will come back and be the adventure it's supposed to be. I'm reminded of a wonderful story that Jesus taught. He was very good at parables, trying to illustrate the way we are on the inside, his own kind of special gestalt. He was talking about a rich man who pulled down his old barns and built new ones after he made all this money. And then the rich man said, I have enough money to last me the rest of my life. All I have to do now is eat, drink, and be merry. What a wonderful life. Isn't that what most of you would love? To have enough money to eat, drink, and be merry, and just live the rest of your life fulfilling every gratification you possibly can. But Jesus, being what he is, kind of throws in a little hammer in there, and he says, but one night, this man's soul was required of him. And then what did those things mean? Every one of us faces something like that in our life. There's going to come a time, a moment in our life where all the money and all the possessions and all the people and all the king's horsemen and all the king's men are not going to be able to put your life or my life back together again. Now what are we going to do? It is only in that moment that we realize what we've done with our life. If I have not come to that very sacred place inside of me where I start to feel the essence of my life, the spirit of my life, the quality of it, where I have not merged into life beyond philosophy, religion, and those two thoughts that most people have, right, wrong, good and bad. If I have not merged past all of that, I have missed my entire life and spent it in the futility of trying to acquire things and people and ideas and beliefs over direct experience with life and love. The direct experience with life and love destroys every fantasy I have, every belief I've ever had, and every thought that I've ever wanted to think. It is only my thoughts and my beliefs and my attitudes that have gotten in the way of the experience of my life. And when I'm willing to drop my philosophy and belief for the sake of an experience, a love that is greater than anything I could ever believe in, it is only in that moment that I begin to experience the mystery of life. Life cannot be understood. It is not something you want to understand. It's more something you want to experience beyond belief and religion and passion and thought. So what are we supposed to do if we're supposed to live our life without philosophy and religion, without those sacred thoughts of right and wrong, good and bad? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to understand life? What's the point of it all? Well, the point is to discover the beauty of life. Beauty you can take with you through death. Love you take with you through death. These two things are the highest truths there are in living, and they can't be spoken. They can only be felt. What you feel deep inside on the inside, that you have been denying all of your life, is the point of it all. And it's all been denied due to believing and thinking about what's right and wrong, good and bad. Silence is the way to life. Silence is the way to the mystery of life. Silence is the mystery of life, and only those people who are willing to follow their silences are the ones that truly get the point of it all. There's an old story about Lao Tzu, who wrote the Tao Te Ching. He is my favorite master. He was taking a walk, and his walks in the morning were all meditations. And he would take with him only his neighbor. And the rule was you couldn't talk during the walk, because the walk was the meditation. It was allowing the beauty to penetrate past thought and ambition and pride. Well, one day the neighbor brings a friend along with him. And they're walking along and doing what they do, and all of a sudden the neighbor sees this beautiful vista, and he says, absolutely beautiful, fantastic. Nothing was said. They got back to the house a couple of hours later, and Lao Tzu looked at the neighbor and said, don't bring him again. He talks too much. We do talk too much. Even me commenting to you here on Aspire is saying too much. That's why I always ask you for forgiveness at the end of an Aspire, because I talk too much. Too many words get in the way of you and me. We feel something very deep on the inside, but it is the words that destroy the significance of our life. And when words are in the way of the significance of what I'm feeling, I have lost my way, and in essence, I've lost my life. Most people die years before their body drops because they're so caught up in thought of right and wrong, good and bad, that they've lost the significance of who they are. You are the most beautiful thing in life. And when you understand the beauty of yourself, it will mean that nothing gets in the way of your beauty. Not words, not pictures, not right, not wrong, not good, not bad, not philosophy, not religion. You don't need religion and philosophy at that point. All of a sudden, all that's necessary is the moment you are in, the silence you can feel, and the love that comes from your heart. And to put yourself in that kind of alchemy, that kind of experiment, is the most noble effort a human being can put towards living. For the authentic seeker, there is nothing that replaces the idea of a spiritual practice. In fact, a spiritual practice is what it's all about. Watching me on Aspire, listening to me, doesn't mean as much as going into the practice. I'm here to help you go into that practice, to bring you into it, maybe to show you some ways in which you can discover this energy for yourself. Well, 3 times a year, I offer students that opportunity by coming up to our Asilomar retreats. And in these retreats, we do very special Tibetan pulsing meditations. These meditations are here to help us with the energy that lives inside of us, to recognize it. I want you to think of it in this way. You have 2 bodies. You have your outer body, and then you and I have our inner body. Most of the time, we are concerned only with the outer body, and it's very emotional and psychological. You can spend many, many lifetimes just trying to deal with it. Or you can start to learn how to deal with your inner body and learn what it means to have an inner body. Your inner body consists of 7 beautiful chakras, or points of energy inside of us, starting from the root to the hari, sometimes called the hairy, to the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat, the third eye, and of course our crown chakra. Awakening these energy centers within us creates a body of energy that offers us an existential experience. And that's what it's all about. Once that experience is realized through any of the spiritual practices that I'm going to give you or meditations, you will start to have for yourself something that is meaningful in your life. You won't be listening just to my words and trying to memorize what you hear me say. You'll find your authentic voice, your authentic self, your authentic experience. And that will mean the world to you, because it is in our authenticity that we find our life. I have Bodhi and Sangeet here with me, and they're going to demonstrate one of the meditations that we have used in the past called forgiveness. Forgiveness is essential in our life. It isn't about me forgiving you or you forgiving me for what we've done to each other. Rather, it is beginning to feel the energy inside of us. So what I'm going to have Bodhi and Sangeet do is I'm going to have them take some very deep breaths. I want you to take a breath through your root chakra and go out your throat chakra. So they're going to be breathing in through their root and out their mouth in a very large circle. In through the root and then out through the mouth. And what I want you to do is breathe very slowly. And I'm going to give you a little bell. Every time you hear the bell, I want you to go a little faster. They're just focusing on their breath right now. And a little faster. What they're doing is using their breath as a way to stir up the energy in the root and in the throat. This is really important because it's in the throat that we are unable to say what we mean. We've been told to shove it down in our throat, shove it down in our root chakra. And what they're doing is loosening up the throat and root. A little faster, please. Now, in a few moments, I'm going to have them lock their root chakra and their throat chakra. They lock the root by squeezing their sphincter muscle. They lock their throat by putting their chin to their chest. And then I'm going to have them breathe up 4 times and hold. Watch. Okay, I want you to lock your root. Breathe up 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And watch. Release. They're going to be watching for their energy. Now lock. 4 breaths up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. In the hold, they are watching their energy. They will see what needs to be forgiven. Release. Again, 4 breaths up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Again, watching and release. Very simple meditation that you can do anywhere at any time. I'm going to take you back to our program. I hope you enjoyed this little segment. You know, the beautiful thing about nature is that none of the creatures in nature fight for their place in this world. The fish know who they are. The sky knows what it is. The cypress tree doesn't want to be a big redwood tree. They all know where they fit in this beautiful scheme called life because they have a sense of symmetry and beauty inside of them. Human beings are the only ones that need to make up stories about how grandiose they are and their dominion and their mastery over the earth. What's the point of it all? To be able to live this life as a mystery. That's the challenge I offer to you. To let yourself live this life as the mystery that you don't understand with logic and reasoning. To be able to put yourself in a position inwardly to have direct experience with life and to allow it to transform you and change you in everything that you do. That is the significance and the meaning of our life. What's the point of it all? You'll go your whole life working and fighting to attain and achieve the things that you think will make your body and your mind comfortable, only in the end to find out it's a cul-de-sac. That the only thing that will really truly fulfill you is something that lives inside all of us. Something we can take with us not only in this life, but through death. And that is ourselves as love. You are the love you seek. No matter what you try to do in this life to try to gain and have the things you want that you think will compensate you for what you believe in, you will find in the end it was all about love, and love was everything that life was about. We missed it because we were too busy interpreting life and trying to make it more than what it was and less than what it could be. You are the experience of life itself. I hope you'll forgive me for this one, hey? Namaste. And the neighbor looked at a beautiful vista as they were driving along. Now, in their SUV. Buddha and an SUV. I'm sorry.
What can I say about Greg Penn?
They're coming to take me away. There's a new sheriff in town. Oh, let's try that again. Alrighty-dighty.
I am the one that gave him the wisdom, the ability to see inside life.
We're off to see the wizard. Oh, right on the head. I love that.
Many years ago, Greg came to me. These are secrets that few people know.
Life is not about life is about flies.
I'm drunk on bliss. I was just with Buddha. Drunk.
I made him absent of his mind. He was a spiritual lab experiment gone bad.
For the authentic...